We all back.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, with the second round of the show.
What you got going on?
Oh, nothing much.
Huh?
Nothing much no more than waiting.
Nothing, honey?
Waiting for the good weather. And the weather is here. The good weather is here. Yes, indeed.
Nothing much, huh, honey?
Yeah.
Like that guy's wife that came in the living room. She said, "What's on TV, honey?" He said, "Dust." She slapped the hell out of him.
No kidding.
I got an article here that is rather lengthy, but I thought it was interesting that I'd gotten, and I printed it out. And it's about a lawyer that was doing a title search for someone in New Orleans. Okay. And it goes something like this. Part of rebuilding New Orleans caused residents often to be challenged with the task of tracing home titles back potentially hundreds of years. With a community rich with history stretching back over 2 centuries, houses have been passed along through generations of family, sometimes making it quite difficult to establish ownership. Okay? Here's a great letter that an attorney wrote to the FHA on behalf of a client. You gotta love this guy, man. A New Orleans lawyer sought an FHA loan for a client. He was told a loan would be granted if he could prove satisfactory title to a parcel of property being offered as collateral. The title to the property dated back to 1803, which took the lawyer 3 months to track down. After sending the information to the FHA, he received the following reply. This is a reply from the FHA. It said, upon review of your letter joining your client's loan application, we note that the request is supported by an abstract of title. While we compliment the able manner in which you have prepared and presented the application, we must point out that you have only cleared title to the proposed collateral property back to 1803. Now, before final approval can be accorded, it will be necessary to clear the title back to its original, to its origin, right? So pretty annoyed, the lawyer responded. He sends him a letter, and this is what he says. And this is his actual response. This is the letter. Your letter regarding title case so has been received. I note that you wish to have title extended further than 206 years covered by the present application. He said, I was aware that any educated person in this country, I was unaware that any educated person in this country, particularly those working in the property area, would not know that Louisiana was purchased by the United States from France in 1803, year of origin identified in our application. For the edification of uninformed FHA bureaucrats, the title to the land prior to U.S. ownership was obtained from France, which had acquired it by right of conquest from Spain. Now, the land came into possession of Spain by right of discovery made in the year 1492 by a sea captain named Christopher Columbus. This is what he tells these people. He said, you have been granted the privilege of seeking a new route to India by the Spanish monarch, Queen Isabella.
Queen Isabella.
The good queen, being a pious woman and almost as careful about titles as the FHA, took the precaution of securing the blessing of the Pope before she sold her jewels to finance Columbus's expedition. Now, the Pope, as I'm sure you may know, is an emissary of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and God, it is commonly accepted, created this world. He said God created this world. Yeah. Therefore, I believe it is safe to presume that God also made that part of the world called Louisiana. God, therefore, would be the owner of origin, and his origin date back to before the beginning of time. The world as we know it and the FHA, both. Okay? So I hope you find God's original claim to be satisfactory. Now may we have our loan. And the loan was immediately approved, and you want the government health care? Lord have mercy. That was a letter. That was a letter that a New Orleans attorney had wrote. You know, God, I hope we don't get any more hurricanes anytime soon on New Orleans. We just kind of getting straightened out, huh?
Yeah, you can say that again.
All things happen, man.
Ooh.
But I wanted to mention my good friend Richard Holman. He's got this great book out. It's getting ready to be the holidays, folks. Don't forget it. Boy, it makes a good gift.
Good gift for the Thanksgiving holiday.
It's got some great pictures of St. Landry Church 100 years. And you can pick it up at the Catholic bookstore. You can get it at Richard Holman's office. And got some great pictures, man. Aerial photos and just some real good pictures of the Catholic Church in the snow. It's a really beautiful book. Yeah. So check it out.
Don't forget to visit the graveyard too. This is the season for the graveyard right now.
I know. They got pictures of the graveyard in there.
Yeah.
Got you. Yep. Valentine Hall, and there's some beautiful church. So check it out and think about it for a gift over the holidays. Huh, Daniel White?
That's right. Yeah, we're having some beautiful weather too.
Oh yeah, it's coming along good. Things have been good.
This is the season.
They had an old prospector named Ralph. He shuffled into town, leading an old tired mule. Old Ralph headed straight for the only saloon to clear up his parched throat. So he walked up and tied his old mule to the hitch rail. As he stood there brushing some of the dust off of his face and clothes, a young gunslinger stepped out of the saloon with a gun in one hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other hand. The young gunslinger looked at the old man and laughed. He said, "Hey, old man, you ever danced?" The old man Ralph looked up at the gunslinger and said, "No, I never did dance, never really wanted to." So he said, a crowd gathered as the gunslinger grinned and said, "Well, you old fool, you're gonna dance now." And he started shooting at that old man's feet. So the old man started dancing, you know, not wanting to get his toe blown off. So he started hopping around like a flea on a hot skillet. Everyone was laughing, fit to be tied. When his last bullet had been fired, the young gunslinger, still laughing, he holstered his gun and he turned around and walked back into the saloon. So old Ralph turned to his old pack mule. He pulled out a double-barrel shotgun and cocked both hammers. The loud clicks, they could hear them hammers click throughout the desert air. The crowd stopped laughing immediately. The young gunslinger heard the sounds too. He turned around very slowly. The silence was almost deafening. The crowd watched as the old gunman stared at as the young gunman stared at the old timer and the large gaping holes of those two twin barrels. The barrels of the shotgun never wavered in old Ralph's hands. As he quietly said, "Son, have you ever licked a mule's ass?" Gunslinger swallowed hard and he said, "No, sir," but he said, "I've always wanted to."
Yeah, this chance to do it.
He says, here's a few lessons for us. Never be arrogant. Don't waste ammunition. Whiskey makes you think you're smarter than you are. Always make sure you know who has the power. Don't mess with old men. They didn't get old by being stupid. I like a good story with a good happy ending. You remember the old days and the Matt Dillon and Miss Kitty?
Yeah.
Huh?
I see there was auctioning John Wayne. All his some of his stuff they was auctioning this. I think this coming week.
John Wayne stuff?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
I don't know where I think he's born in Texas somewhere.
Well, they had a while back. They had a special on John Wayne on CBS Morning, Good Morning, or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, but they're gonna auction some of his clothes and some of his possessions pretty soon.
Where they auctioning that at?
I think they're gonna be doing that on national TV somewhere, but I didn't get the whole story. But it came on the morning, the Sunday morning show that I look at.
Oh, really?
Boy, he got some beautiful clothes.
Well, that's what I was telling you about that show.
Yeah, that's the show.
CBS, what is it, Sunday morning?
Sunday morning, I think they call that show the Sunday morning show.
Yeah. And did you see Andy Rooney's
Andy
last
Rooney.
rodeo?
Yeah, is he fixing to retire? I didn't get that.
I think so. It was his last performance
It's
a
gonna be
while back.
Yeah, I think this was his last performance this week.
Yeah.
I didn't see 60 Minutes though today. I missed that.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, but that's, he comes on right after 60 Minutes, you know.
Oh, man, I'd like to know where they're auctioning that stuff for John Wayne. I love John Wayne, man.
All his stuff like guns and stuff.
Really?
They showed a lot of stuff that they're going
But he's got a lot of stuff from like his movies and everything, huh?
Yeah. And
Like machine
his
guns.
son is the one ahead of doing that. And he said the reason why he's doing that is because he knows some people want some of that precious stuff he have. But he said he's not going to, some of it he's going to just keep it, you know?
Yeah. You used to watch John Wayne?
Yeah.
They had a remake of John Wayne's movie,
Oh, man.
True Grit. They got a new one.
Yeah, before they had television, I used to go see him at the Rex Theater and the Delta.
Yeah.
And then he used to be in the ice cream container. When you buy
He was in the ice cream container?
Yeah, he had his picture in that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I used to buy that just to look at his pictures. I had a
He
little,
used to buy the ice cream just to look at his picture.
yeah, and also Roy Rogers too.
Oh, yeah?
And boy, we make a big thing of that. Me and my brother and my cousin, we try to act like them, you know. We'd be shooting. We try to shoot at each other.
What was Roy Rogers' wife's name?
I done forgot. But they was famous in them time, man.
Her husband's name was Buttermilk, and his horse, what was his horse's name?
I done
Roy
forgot
Rogers?
that name of that horse, but that was a popular horse. Boy, when he get on that horse.
Huh?
When he get on that horse, it would take
Trigger.
off. Trigger, yeah, that's
Trigger.
the name. Trigger.
And her horse's name was Buttermilk.
You sure not?
And Dale Evans. Dale Evans.
Dale,
Roy Rogers
Dale
and
Evans.
Dale
Yeah,
Evans.
now you got it.
That was
Dale
it.
Evans.
We used to watch that when we was young, huh? Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
Yeah, boy.
And
I think going to the movie then was 15 cents.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, you could go to the movie. If you had 50 cents in your pocket, you could get popcorn, you could get candy, you could get Cokes, you could get in the show.
I used to like to get the popcorn, man.
35 cents, you could get everything you wanted.
Yeah.
And have money left. You know, if you had 50 cents, you'd have money left over.
And then I would go to the show sometimes just to meet the girlfriends, you know.
Folks, don't forget about us at DeJean White Insurance.
Insurance Agency.
Yeah, give us a call and let us give you a quote, and we'd be happy to see you. And we're going to check y'all out next week on the show. And glad y'all could join us. Hope everybody's safe over the next week or so. And come by and visit with us if you get a chance. And if you need to contact us, you can do so at the studio here, or you can contact us at DeJean White Insurance Office. And just send us a note, and they'll put it in the box here at the studio, and we'll be glad to announce whatever you have. Huh?
That's correct. We can announce you and build your business up.
So we will see you all next week.
At the same time, ladies and gentlemen.